Hi, I'm Ali Stoneman and I work for Junction Arts based in Chesterfield. So we're an arts charity and we've been working on a project commemorating HMS Hampshire and looking at Dazzle camouflage and the role that played in World War I.
My name's Tracy Cannon. I'm a Bolsover District Councillor. I'm also the manager of the Post Mill Centre at South Normanton. I was approached by Carol Hurst. We wanted to put a project on for the local community. We work very close with all the local schools in South Normanton, and this was an ideal project to bring the Frederick Gent School into the Post Mill Centre at South Normanton. It's the heart of the community. We were looking for a piece of history that we could recreate, and this was perfect, and it's been done with such feeling and depth, and such hard work has gone into it, and we're really looking forward to seeing the end product.
Well, I'm Peter Massey, I'm a mosaic artist and I work for Xantium Studios, and I'm here in the employment of Junction Arts to deliver a project which is all about Dazzle camouflage. And I was delighted when they contacted me about this because it's a particular interest of mine and something I wrote my undergraduate college thesis about. So had to be done, and it results in mainly a very large scale mosaic which has got 14,500 pieces in it.
My name's Paul Lovett-Cooper. I'm the composer of The Final Voyage, which is a piece that was commissioned for this particular project. The Final Voyage tracks the final voyage of the ship, the HMS Hampshire, and as it sets off sail, the piece tells this descriptive picture, musical picture of it setting sail, leaving port, hitting stormy waters, and then the unfortunate circumstances where it hits a mine, it's exploded in some way or form, and then the ship sinks with over 700 crew members losing their lives. It's quite a dramatic story. So I composed a piece of music for the 100th anniversary of that event and to describe the whole event.
So I started the children with a full brief about the history and about how we were going to pursue our design sessions. And we started in our sketchbooks, and we did some rough designs which were based on early type and late type of Dazzle camouflage patterns that were produced in the First World War. And then we took those designs and we isolated tiny elements from those and enlarged them to produce designs. And then those designs have been copied onto model ships, a fleet of model ships, which is exactly what happened 100 years ago. Conceptual designs were made onto model ships. They were then filmed and viewed through an actual submarine periscope to see which ones proved most confusing, and then those designs were chosen and they were painted onto full-scale ships. And I think at any one time there were about 3,000 ships that were painted in Dazzle.
We are animating a model ship of HMS Hampshire to go into the Final Voyage film. We are using stop motion to achieve this, and none of us has done this before, and we'll find it interesting.
This is a design for my Dazzle camouflage ship. They used about 100 years ago in the war, just after the HMS Hampshire sank, to confuse the U-boats where they were in the ocean. This is a rough design.
So what will happen after you've done this design?
I'll paint one side of this ship, the colours, the early type design, and then the late type design on the other side. So it's different on each side. One's black and white and the other's colours, and it confused the distance where they was in the ocean.
it's multifaceted because they're working in many different art forms. So they're working with media, they're working with art, they're also creating art projects as well as the music. So it's quite a multifaceted experience for them. In particular with the music, they get the opportunity to compose pieces of music which they will then perform to their peers, and they will also analyse and assess their performances as well. And for virtually all the students, this is their first experience of composing a bespoke piece of music, particularly in this programmatic form.
The main connection with our local community here is the miners that actually left the pits here to go and work as stokers on board the ships. And we looked into the similarity in the job and also the environment. So they left one dangerous, claustrophobic, hot environment to go and work in another. And so there are particular miners that were lost on board this ship, and it continued throughout the war. And so we've got a mosaic that has all of these elements combined, and we've also worked in lots of different styles with the mosaic. So we've looked at wool work, which was a craft that the sailors on board Royal Naval ships pursued in their free time, and we've looked at cubism and vorticism, which were art movements that were inspired by similar subject matter. And we've looked at Royal Naval designs as well, the hat band and this kind of thing, the name of the ship. So we've combined those all together, and we've worked in a typical Edwardian material, which is porcelain mosaic tesserae. And the whole thing's been compiled together, and we've got 14,500 little pieces that we're going to be laying, cutting and sticking over our Arts Week.
So it's been a really busy week for all of them, and but I think a really satisfying week and a real opportunity for them to find their creative voices, to try out new skills and new activities, to see how professional artists work in the world and the kind of thing that they might want to do in the future themselves.